Well, hello there, random strangers on the internet. Welcome back. Welcome back. Or if this is your first time, welcome to. Today we are talking about Jeff the Killer. I'm just going to read through the story, give my comments. If y'all want more content like this, let me know. Like, comment, and subscribble the dribbles. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. Let's get into the probably the most well-known story. If you don't know Jeff the Killer, it is this image right over here. This image started circulating around 2008. When I was born. Wow, this story is old. But yeah, so it just started circulating and stuff. So, and then this story was written. This is the original story, or the most original story I could find. This is gonna be a little bit of a longer video, but yeah, let's jump into it. So, starts off, excerpt from local newspaper. Ominous unknown killer is still at large. After weeks of unexplained murders, the ominous unknown killer is still on the rise. After a little evidence has been found, a young boy states that he survived one of the killer's attacks and bravely tells his story. Very, very strong writing so far. It's just downhill from here. I had a bad dream and I woke up in the middle of the night, says the boy. I saw that for some reason the window was open, even though I remember it being closed before I went to bed. I got up and shut it once more. Afterwards, I simply crawled under my covers and tried to get back to sleep. Then, when I had a strange feeling like someone was watching me, I looked up and nearly jumped out of my bed. There, in the little ray of light illuminating from between my curtains. So the boy right now sees Jeff in the corner of his room, where a pair of two eyes. They weren't regular eyes. They were dark, ominous eyes. They were bordered in black and just plain out terrified me. That's when I saw a mouth, a long, horrendous smile that made every hair on my body stand up. The figure stood there watching me. Finally, what seemed like forever, he said it. A simple phrase, but said in a way only one mad man could speak. He said, "Go to sleep." I let out a scream. That's what sent him at me. He pulled a knife, aiming for my heart. He jumped on top of my bed. I fought back. I kicked. I punched. I rolled around, tried to knock him off me. Here's my first point. Jeff is still a 13-year-old, or he's a 13-year-old in the story, so probably 14. If a little kid can beat him up, like, what the fuck? He's not as scary as you seem. But that's when my dad busted in. The man threw the knife and it went into my dad's shoulder. The man probably would have finished him off if it wasn't for the neighbors hadn't alerted police. Drove into the parking lot and ran towards the door. The man turned and ran down the hallway. I heard smash, like glass breaking. As I came out of my room, I saw the window that was pointing towards the back of my house was broken. I looked out it and it's to see him vanish into the distance. I can tell you one thing. I will never forget that face. Those cold, evil eyes and that psychotic smile will never leave my head. Police are still on the lookout for this man. If you see anyone that fits the description in this story, please contact your local police department. Don't actually fucking do that, for the love of God. Please don't. I'm reading the story that's in the story. So now we get into the actual bulk of Jeff the Killer, which is, I'm ready. That's actually really well written, and it's better written than I remember, but it is really, really strongly written. So now is the actual, what I consider the actual story. That's just the very beginning is a snippet from after this story. which is believed. Jeff and his family have moved into a new neighborhood. His dad had gotten a promotion at work, and they thought it would be the best to live one of those fancy neighborhoods. Jeff and his brother Lou couldn't complain, though. A new, better house, what was not to love? As they were getting unpacked, one of their neighbors came by. "Hello," she said. "I'm Barbara. I live across the street from you. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself and to introduce my son." She turns and calls her son over. "Billy, these are the new neighbors." Billy said, "Hi," and ran back to his yard. "Well," said Jeff's mom, "I'm Margaret, and this is my husband, Peter, and my two sons, Jeff and Lou." I don't know why I made her Scottish, but you know what? We're running with it. Introduces themselves, and then Barbara invited them over to their son's birthday. Jeff and his brother were about to object when their mother said that they would love to. When Jeff and his family are done packing, Jeff went up to his mom. "Mom, why would you invite us to some kid's birthday party if you haven't noticed? I'm not some dumb kid." "Jeff, we just moved here. We should show that we want to spend time with our new neighbors. Now, we're going to that party, and that's final." Jeff started to talk, but stopped himself, knowing that he couldn't do anything. Whenever his mom said something, it was final. He walked up to his room, plopped down on his bed. He sat there looking at his ceiling when suddenly he got a weird feeling, not so much a pain, but a weird feeling. Get ready for a lot of weird feelings. Weird feelings are on the horizon. On the horizon. The weird feelings, very weird. He dismissed it as just some random feeling. He heard his mother call him down to get his stuff, and he walked down to get it. The next day, Jeff walked downstairs to get breakfast and got ready for school. As he sat there eating his breakfast, he once again got that feeling. This time, it was stronger. It gave him the slight tugging pain, but he once again dismissed it. As he and Lou finished breakfast, they walked down to the bus stop. They sat there waiting for the bus, and then all of a sudden, some kid on a skateboard jumped over them, only inches from their laps, and they both jumped back, surprised. "Hey, what the hell?" The kid landed and turned back to them as he kicked his skateboard up like the cool kid he was, and caught it in his hands. The kid seems to be about 12, 1 year younger than Jeff, which confirms 13. He wears a Aeropostale shirt and a ripped blue jeans. Well, it looks like we got some new meat. I love that. I love that line. Well, it looks like we got some new meat. Suddenly, two other kids appeared. One was super skinny, and the other was huge. Since you're new here, I'd like you to introduce ourselves. Over there is Keith. Jeff and Lou looked over to the skinny kid that had a dopey face that looked like you would expect a sidekick to have. And he's Troy. They looked over at the fat kid. This is actually in the story, and I quote, "Talk about a tub of lard." Talk about a ton of lard. Holy, he's fat. He's a big boy. This kid looked like he hadn't exercised since he was growing. Actual story quotes, by the way. This is fucking amazing. "And I," said the first kid, "I'm Randy. Now, for all the kids in this neighborhood, there's a small price for bus fare. If you catch my drift, Lou stood up, ready to punch the lights out of this kid. This kid is fucking 9, by the way. When one of his friends pulled a knife. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Sleeping with the fishes, aren't ya? I'd hope you would be more cooperative, and it seems we must do this the hard way." The kid walked up to Lou and took his wallet out of his pocket. Jeff got that feeling again. Now it was truly strong, a burning sensation. He stood up, but Lou gestured him to sit down. Jeff ignored him and walked up to the kid. "Listen here, you little punk. Give back my bro's wallet or else." Randy put the wallet in his pocket and pulled out his own knife. "Oh, what will you do, man?" Just as he finished the sentence, Jeff popped the kid in the nose. Boom! As Randy reached for his face, Jeff grabbed the poor kid's wrist and broke it. This is a 13-year-old child. Do you understand how hard it is to break somebody's wrist? It is insanely hard to go snap somebody's wrist. Like, it is insanely hard to break somebody's wrist. Just like that. Because his feeling was super strong. Breaking someone's nose is really not that hard. But breaking someone's wrist is. Randy screamed and Jeff grabbed the knife from his hand. Troy and Keith rushed Jeff, and Jeff was too quick. He threw Randy to the ground. So he hip-tossed Randy pretty much. Keith lashed out on him, but Jeff ducked and stabbed him in the arm. Keith dropped his knife and fell to the ground, screaming. Troy rushed him too, but Jeff didn't need a knife. He just punched Troy straight in the stomach, and Troy went down. Talk about a tub of lard. As he fell, he puked all over. Lou could do nothing but look in the amazement at Jeff. So, this 13-year-old child just laid out 3 12-year-olds in a nice neighborhood. So Jeff laid out a 90s druggie from the movies, a very severely overweight child, and a skinny, ugly guy. So average male friend group, let's be real, but this 13-year-old child just laid out 3 kids, but to be fair, it was self-defense. It was a self-defense situation, so honestly, I'll give Jeff this one. Jeff is in the right, technically, but also at the same time, he had a feeling. Jeff, how'd you? That's all he said. They saw the bus coming and they knew they'd be blamed for the whole thing, so they started strutting as fast as they can. They ran, they looked back and saw the bus driver rushing over to Randy and the others. As Jeff and Lou made it to school, they didn't dare tell what happened. All they did was sat down and listened. Lou just thought of that his brother beating up a few kids, but Jeff knew it was more. Something scary. As he got the feeling, he felt how powerful it was. The urge to just hurt someone. He didn't like how it sounded, but he couldn't help feeling happy. It's not a feeling. This kid's just fucking psychotic. Get him some help, please. He felt that strange feeling go away and stay away for the entire day of school. Even as he walked home, due to the whole thing near the bus stop, and how he probably wouldn't be taking the bus anymore, he felt happy. When he got home, his parents asked how his day was, and he said in an ominous voice, "It was a wonderful day." Next morning, he heard a knock at his front door. He walked down to find 2 police officers, his mother looking back at him with an angry look. The silent 1,000-yard mother stare. Really? You can tell they're saying, "Really? Why the fuck? Your ass is cooked when we get home." "Jeff, these officers told me that you attacked 3 kids. That it wasn't a regular fight, but they were stabbed. Stop, son!" Jeff's gaze fell to the floor, showing his mother that it was true. "Mom, they were the ones who pulled the knives on me and Lou."
"Son, we found 3 kids, 2 stabbed, 1 having bruises to his stomach. We have witnesses proving that you fled the scene, and now that's what you tell us,"
the cop said. Jeff knew it was no use. He could say him and Lou had been attacked, but there was no proof of it. It was not them who attacked first. They couldn't say that they weren't fleeing because truth be told, they were. So Jeff couldn't defend himself or Lou.
"Son, call your brother down."
Jeff couldn't do it since it was him who beat the kids. "Sir, it was me. I was the one who beat up the kids." Lou tried to hold me back, but he couldn't stop me. The cop looked at his partner and they both nod.
And I quote, "Well, kid, it looks like a win."
"Wait," says Lou. They all looked up to see him holding a knife. The officers pulled their guns and locked on to Lou. I love this story. This is peak. So you're telling me, it was me, Mom. Yeah, no, I was the one who did that. I'm 9 years old and I laid out 3 12-year-olds by myself. And Lou goes, "Oh yeah, so that's what we're doing now, huh?" Lou has a knife. "Looks like a weird movie for you, son." "Right." He pulls out a knife. Holding the knife, the officers go, "Knife." "Okay, come on, kid. You don't want to do this today. We don't want to have to shoot you. You don't want to do this, kid." "It was me who beat up all these little punks, and they have the marks to prove it." He lifted up the sleeves to reveal cuts and bruises as if he was in a struggle. "Son, just put the knife down." Lou held up the knife and dropped it to the ground. He put his hands up and walked over to the cops. No, Lou. It was me. I did it." Jeff, tears running down his face. "Huh? Poor bro. Trying to take the blame for what I did will take me away." The police led Lou into the patrol car. "Lou, tell them it was me. Tell them I was the one who beat up those kids." Jeff's mother put her hands on his shoulders. "Jeff, please. You don't have to lie. We know it, Lou. You can stop." Like, hold on. So you're telling me that this kid, this 9-year-old child, has a knife. The cops immediately pull their guns, which honestly, fair. but locking on to the 9-year-old saying, you want to just drop the garbage, just drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. And then they're like, oh my God, I dropped it. I just don't think it's funny. Just imagining a 9-year-old child holding a butter knife and just like 2 cops, guns drawn, aiming in on this 9-year-old child with a butter knife in his hand. That image, it's hilarious. Jeff watched helplessly as the cop car speeds off with Lou inside. A few minutes later, Jeff's dad pulls in the driveway, seeing Jeff's face and knowing something was wrong. Son, what is it? Jeff couldn't answer. His vocal cords were strained from crying. Instead, Jeff's mother walked his father inside to break the bad news to him as Jeff wept in the driveway. After an hour or so, Jeff walked back in the house, seeing his parents both shocked, sad, and disappointed. He couldn't look at them. He couldn't see how they thought Lou when was his fault. He just went to sleep, trying to get the whole thing off his mind. 2 days went by with no word from the Lou at JDC. No friends. I believe JDC stands for Juvenile Detention Center. If I had to guess, that's what I believe it stands for. It says JDC in the story, so that's just what I think it, for those that don't know. No friends to hang out with, nothing but sadness, guilt. That was until Saturday when Jeff woke up by woke up by his mother with a happy, sunshiny face. Jeff, it's the day. She opened up the curtains, let the light flood into his room. What day is it? What's today? Why? It's Billy's party. Mario, okay, Mario's the mother now. He was not fully awake. Mom, you're joking, right? You don't actually expect me to go to something's party after? There was a long pause. Jeff, we both know what happened. I think this party could be a thing that brightens up the past days. Now get dressed. Jeff's mother walked out of the room and downstairs to get herself ready. He fought himself to get up. Me every morning. Real, bro. Me, real, brother, real. He picked out a random shirt and a pair of jeans and walked downstairs. He saw his mother and father all dressed up. His mother in a dress and his father in a suit. He thought, why would they ever wear such fancy clothes to a kid's party? Son, is that all you're going to wear? Said Jeff's mom. Better than wearing too much, he said. His mother pushed down the feeling to yell at him and hid it with a smile. No, Jeff, we may be overdressed, but this is how you go if you want to make an impression. Said his, oh, that's the father, not the mother. Yeah, father said that. Whoopsies. Jeff grunted, went back up to his room. I don't have any fancy clothes, he yelled downstairs. Just pick something, called his mother. He looked around his closet for what he would call fancy. He found a pair of black dress pants he had for special occasions and an undershirt. He couldn't find a shirt to go with it, though. He looked around and the only striped and pattern shirts, none of them which go with dress pants. He finally found a white hoodie and put it on. Oh, he put on a white hoodie. I could have sworn for the longest time it was a black hoodie, but you know what? Times have changed, and also I'm probably illiterate. Oh, you're wearing that? They both said. His mother looked at her watch. Oh no. No time to change. Let's go, said She said as she herded Jeff and his father out the door, they crossed the street over to Barbara and Billy's house. They knocked on the door, and it happened that Barbara, just like his parents, way overdressed. As they walked inside, all Jeff could see were adults, no kids. The kids are out in the yard. Jeff, how about you go and meet some of them? I don't know why I'm doing these for the women's voices, but I am. I'm having fun, said Barbara. Jeff walked outside to the yard full of kids. They were running around in the weird cowboy costumes and shooting each other with plastic guns. Might as well be standing in a Toys R Us. Suddenly, a kid came up to him and handed him a toy gun and a hat. Hey, wanna play? He said. No, kid. I'm way too old for this stuff. The kid looked at him with a weird puppy dog face. Please. Fine, said Jeff. He put on the hat and started to pretend to shoot the kids At first, she thought it was totally ridiculous, but then he actually started having fun. It might have not been super cool, but it was the first time he had done something that took his mind off of Lou. So he played with the kids for a while until he heard a noise, a weird rolling noise. Then it hit him. Randy, Troy, and Keith all jumped over the fence on their skateboards. Jeff dropped the fake gun and ripped off the hat. Randy looked at Jeff with a burning hatred. Hello, Jeff, is it? And we have some unfinished business, don't we? Some unfinished business with you, don't we? Jeff saw his bruised nose. I think we're even. I beat the crap out of you and you sent my brother to the JDC. Randy got angry, look in his eyes. Oh no. I don't even go for even. I go for winning. Oh, you may have kicked our asses, but one day. But not today. Bro. As he said that, Randy rushed at Jeff. They both fell to the ground. Randy punched Jeff in the nose, and Jeff grabbed him by the ears and head and butted him off. Jeff pushed Randy off of him, and both rose to their feet. Kids were screaming, and parents were running out of the house. Troy and Keith both pulled guns out of their pockets. Oh, this is amazing. I love this story so much. I'm standing for this part. So you're telling me two 12-year-olds go, oh, no one interrupts or guts will fly. They said. Randy pulled a knife on Jeff and stabbed it into his shoulder. Ah, my shoulder. Jeff screamed, fell to his knees. Randy started kicking him in the face. That's what you get. That's what you get. Yeah. After 3 kicks, Jeff grabs his foot, twisted it, causing Randy to fall to the ground. Jeff stood up and walked towards the back door. Troy grabbed him. I believe that's the fat tub of lard. Needs some help. He picks Jeff up by the back collar and throws him through the patio door. This is the most anime sequence or action movie sequence ever. Am I listening to watching Die Hard right now? As Jeff tries to stand, he is kicked down to the ground. Randy repeatedly started kicking Jeff until he starts to cough up blood. Come on, Jeff. Fight me. Fight me. Please, Jeff, fight. He picks Jeff up and throws him into the kitchen. Randy sees a bottle of vodka on the counter, smashes the glass over Jeff's head. Fight! He throws Jeff back into the living room. Come on, Jeff, look at me. Jeff glances up, his face riddled with blood. I was the one who got your brother sent to JDC. And now you're just gonna sit there and let him rot in there for a whole year. You should be ashamed. Jeff starts to get up. Oh, finally, you stand and fight. Jeff now on his feet with blood and vodka on his face. Once again, he gets that strange feeling. The strange feeling. The one in which he hasn't felt for a while. Finally, he's up, says Randy, and he runs at Jeff. That's when it happens. Something inside Jeff snaps. His psyche is destroyed. All rational thinking is gone. All he can do is kill. He grabs Randy and a pile drives him to the ground. He gets on top of him and punches him straight in the heart. The punch causes Randy's heart to stop. Oh, I love this story so much. It is amazing. 13-year-old child, by the way. It's a skinny emo kid. I'm not coming after anybody emo. I love you guys. Emo community and goth community. Love you. Keep it up. Be good. But he's a skinny kid. He can punch somebody in the heart. Boom! And make the heart stop. The punch causes Randy's heart to stop. As Randy grasps for a breath, Jeff hammers down on him. Punch after punch, blood gushes from Randy's body until he takes one more final breath and fucking dies. Everyone is looking at Jeff now. The parents and kids, the crying kids, even Troy and Keith, although they easily break their gaze and point their guns at Jeff. Jeff sees the guns, trains on him, and he runs for the stairs. As he runs, Troy and Keith let out fire on him, each shot missing. Jeff runs upstairs. He hears Troy and Keith falling up behind as they let out their final rounds. The bullets. Jeff ducks into the bathroom. He grabs the towel rack, rips it off the wall, and Troy and Keith race in. Knives are ready. Troy swings his knife at Jeff, who backs away and bangs the towel rack into Troy's face. Troy goes down hard. And now that's left is Keith. Damn it, Keith. He's more than agile. Troy though, more agile than Troy though, and ducks. When Jeff swings the towel rack, he dropped the knife and grabbed Jeff by the neck. He pushed him into the wall. And the thing of bleach fell down on top of him from the top shelf. It burnt both of them as they both started screaming. Jeff wiped his eyes and the best as he could. He pulled back the towel rack and swung it straight into Keith's head. As he lay there bleeding to death, he let out an ominous smile. "What's so funny?" asked Jeff. Keith pulled out a lighter, switched it on. "What's funny," he said, "is that you're covered in bleach and alcohol." Jeff's eyes widened as Keith threw the lighter on him. As soon as a flame made contact with him, the flames ignited the alcohol in the vodka. While the alcohol burned him, the bleach bleached his skin. Jeff let out a terrible screech as he got on fire. Burn, burn, baby, burn, burn, baby, burn. He tried to roll it out the fire, but it was no use. The alcohol made him a walking inferno. He ran down the hall, fell down the stairs. Everybody started screaming as they saw Jeff, now a man on fire, dropped to the ground, nearly dead. The last thing Jeff saw was his mother and the other parents trying to extinguish the flame that... We're almost there, folks. A few minutes of this video. I plan on doing more creepypasta read-throughs, relatively shorter ones, and maybe I'll do multiple part series. For the longer ones, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and all the things. I also am going to start posting shorts on here, and I do post 3 to 4 times a day on TikTok and Instagram Reels, so I hope you go check that out. Links will be in the description below. Let's finish this, boys. When Jeff woke up, he had a cast wrapped around his face. He couldn't see anything, but he felt a cast on his shoulder and stitches all over his body. He tried to stand up and realized there was a tube in his arm. Then he tried to get up. It fell out, and a nurse rushed in. I don't think you can get out of bed just yet, honey, she said, and she put him back in bed and reinserted the tube. Just Jeff sat there with no vision, no idea of his surroundings, where finally, after hours, he heard his mother. Honey, are you okay? She asked. Jeff couldn't answer, though. His face was covered and was unable to speak. Oh, honey, I have great news. After all the witnesses told police that Landy confessed to trying to attack you, they decided to let Lou go. This made Jeff almost bolt up, stopping halfway, remembering the tube will fall out of his arm. He'll be out tomorrow, and you two will be able to be together again. Jeff's mother hugs Jeff and says her goodbyes. The next couple of weeks were those where Jeff was visited by family. They came the day where his bandages were removed. The family all together see him, what he would look like as the doctors unwrapped the bandages from Jeff's face. Everyone was on edge of their seats. They waited until the last bandage holding the cover of his face almost removed. Let's hope for the best, said the doctor. He quickly puts the cloth, letting the rest fall from Jeff's face. Jeff's mother screams at the side of his face. Lou and Jeff's dad stare awestruck at his face. What happened to my face? He rushed out of bed and ran to the bathroom. He looked in the mirror and saw the cause of the distress. His face. It's horrible. His lips burnt to a deep shade of red. His face was turned into pure white color, and his hair singed from brown to black. He slowly put his hand on his face. It just had some sort of leathery feel to it now. He looked back at his family and back in the mirror. Jeff, it's not that bad, said Lou. Not that bad. It's perfect. Perfect! His family was equally surprised. Jeff started laughing uncontrollably. His parents noticed that his left eye and hand were twitching. Jeff, are you okay? Okay, I've never felt more happy. Look at me. This face goes perfect with me. He couldn't stop laughing. He stroked his face while feeling it. He looked in the mirror. What caused this? Well, you may recall that when Jeff was fighting Randy... What caused this? Well, if you may recall that when Jeff was fighting Randy, something in his mind, his sanity, snapped. Now, he was left a crazy killing machine that is his parents didn't know. Doctor, is my son alright, in the head? Oh, yes. This behavior is typical for patients who have taken large amounts of painkillers. This behavior doesn't change in a few weeks. Bring him back here and we'll give him a psychological test. Oh, thank you, doctor. Jeff's mother went over to Jeff. Jeff, sweetie, it's time to go. Jeff looks away from the mirror, his face still formed into a crazy smile. Okay, mommy. Ha 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 ha. Oh, this is amazing. I'm having the time of my life. His mother took him by the shoulder and took him to get his clothes. This is what came in. Jeff's mom looked down to see the black dress pants and white hoodie her son wore. Now, they were clean of blood and now stitched together. Jeff's mother led him to his room, made him put his clothes on, and left, not knowing that it was their final day of life. Yes! Yes! We're almost there. Almost to Jeff's Gill. Later that night, Jeff's mother woke up to a sound coming from the bathroom. It sounded as if somebody were crying. She slowly walked over to see what it was. When she looked in the bathroom, she saw it was horrendous. Jeff has taken a knife and carved a smile into his cheeks. Oh, Jeff, what are you doing? Jeff looked over at his mother. I can't keep smiling, Mummy. It hurt for a while. Now I can smile forever. Jeff's mother notices his eyes ringed in black. Jeff, your eyes! His eyes were seemingly never closing. I couldn't see my face. I tried, and my eyes started to close. I burned my eyelids out so I would forever see myself. My new face. Jeff's mother slowly started to back away, seeing her son is going insane. What's wrong, Mommy? Aren't I beautiful? Yes, son. Yes, you are. Let me go get Daddy. So he can see his face. She ran into the room, shook Jeff's dad from his sleep. And I quote, honey, get the gun. She stopped as she saw Jeff in the doorway holding a knife. Mommy, you lied. This was the last thing they would hear. Jeff rushed at them with a knife, gutting them both. His brother Lou woke up, startled by some noise. He didn't hear anything else, so he just shut his eyes, tried to go back to sleep. As he was on the border of slumber, he got the strangest feeling that someone was watching him. He looked up and Jeff's hand covered his mouth and slowly raised the knife to plunge it into Lou. Lou thrashed here and there, trying to escape Jeff's grip. Shh, just go to sleep, Jeff said. And that's it. That was a wild ride. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you made it to the end, make sure you like, follow, comment, or subscribe, and share. And comment down below the next creepypasta I should do. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.